Hello, everyone. My name is Mark. My wife, Tori. And of course, we have, nonetheless, Dr. Barlow. We're here with Edge on Regenerative Medicine Show. And I'm excited today because we're going to be talking about regenerative medicine within stem cell. And so Dr. Barlow is going to share with us his thoughts on stem cell. But before we do that, first, thank you so much, Dr. Barlow, for being on the show.
Mark, Tori, thank you guys for having me. It's an honor and a privilege to be here.
More than you can say, it's an honor just to be with you. I hate to say this, but you're my favorite doctor. I'm gonna it's just it's what it is.
I hear that a lot. So.
Like he goes,
I mean, I am a modest person, but hey, but thank you. Thank you.
There's enough love to go around.
That's it. It is.
Well, everyone, I'm excited, and again, thank you again today. We're gonna again talk about stem cell, but before we do, I'm going to talk about some of the accolades on what Dr. Barlow has accomplished. To be honest, I had like 4 papers, so I'm gonna just sum it down, everyone. So first, Dr. Barlow is a board-certified chiropractic neurologist. He's a fellow of the American College of Functional Neurology. He trains doctors all over the world, from Italy to New Zealand. He's also an AFNI seminar instructor. He's also a lead U.S. instructor for Trigenics, specializing in knee and shoulder problems. Dr. Barlow is also a national and international speaker, also a keynote speaker at multiple conventions.
We welcome you, Dr. Barlow. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So how did you get into stem cell therapy?
How did I get into stem cell therapy? Actually, the actual first person that I know personally that did stem cells was my wife. This was over a year ago. Actually, she had a traumatic fall at the Chicago O'Hare Airport. We were walking, actually we were going to a wedding, and we were walking down the concourse. There was some water in the floor. No one saw it, and she's talking to me, and the next thing we know, I'm picking her up off the floor. Knees, hip, shoulder, and so anyway, we looked at doing stem cell therapy to help her, and along with her getting phenomenal results and me reading the research on stem cell therapy and its regenerative properties, I'm like, hey, this is the next wave of healthcare, and I like to personally think that I'm on the cutting edge of healthcare, kind of keeping my finger on the pulse, if you will, to see where the healthcare field is moving us into, and regenerative medicine is the next wave of healthcare. And I would also, one of the things that got me into this as well is a book that I highly recommend everyone read. It's called Stem Cell: The Rising Tide by Dr. Neil Roden. Maybe I'm not pronouncing his name exactly right, but if you Google Stem Cell, The Rising Tide, phenomenal book. You don't have to be a doctor to understand it. It's actually written for lay people. And with seeing the results that my wife has gotten, the results that my mom has gotten, the results I've gotten from doing this regenerative medicine, we just want to educate people on what it is and how it has potential to change their life, and then let other people decide, hey, is this right for me, or do I want to go down another road? So all I want to do is educate people into the community and say, hey, if you're looking for something that is very effective, virtually no types of side effects at all, and you want to actually stop masking the symptom and actually allow your body's innate ability to heal itself, this is the road you need to go down. This is your next step. So,
wow. And so would you say is that what drove you? Would you say
it did? And it's just the learning about stem cells, reading the research, going to seminars, learning about what this phenomenal treatment system can do for you. It's the new wave of healthcare, and it's just phenomenal. I mean, we've had people come into the clinic with numbness and tingling in their feet, and they can feel their feet again. My mom is one of those she had back problems and kind of a combination of numbness and tingling in her feet along with pain in her feet. And we did regenerative medicine. We did the injections, and I mean, within a matter of weeks, I mean, we're talking about a person who was not completely out of pain in 3 or 4 weeks, but virtually at that level of, I cannot believe how good I feel right now. And, you know, when your mom is suffering and you want to help her, it's just, you know, I get to wake up every day and transform people's lives. And my mom was one of them. And I get to do that every single day. And it's a wonderful thing to be able to wake up every day and say, today somebody's life is going to be changed because they decided to do this type of program.
Beautiful. And we will write the book in the comments below.
Okay.
If anyone is still interested in any of the references that Dr. Barlow is talking about, just look in the comments below after the show.
And also, everyone out there in internet land, please like and share this, and please post it on your page. And the reason why, think about this, if you post this on your page, you're going to probably be helping somebody out that's right now in pain. So
absolutely.
Favor and everybody else and friends, if you loving is sharing and caring, share it, everyone. Go ahead.
Share it. Absolutely.
I had to go for it.
Yep.
I guess it's all me. Okay, so how long does it take for stem cells to actually start working in the body after somebody, and to see results after somebody comes in? For example.
Okay. And Mark, that's a really good question. And when I give my seminars, and by the way, I do give seminars out in the public because I want to educate, again, people in our community about what this regenerative medicine has the potential to do to the body. So typically what will happen is most people will start to see results, meaning increased mobility, decreased pain in 4 to 6 weeks. Most people will do that. Now, there are I guess you could say, determining factors that can tell us what can slow the healing process down. Right. And as in my educational process, I explained it that there's actually 5 things that can happen that can slow the body down. Like, for example, the level of degeneration that a person has. So if somebody has severe degeneration, typically they're going to heal a little bit slower than someone with moderate to mild degeneration. So that would be one. If a person is a smoker, that's also going to slow down the healing process, because just think of it. If you twist your ankle, you walk out in the yard and twist your ankle, if a person's a smoker, they're just going to naturally heal slower. Stem cells and regenerative medicine, they need oxygen to proliferate. It means to help them grow. So if you're a chronic smoker, just realize that the healing process is going to be slower. If a person is a diabetic, type 1 or type 2, the healing process will be slower. The reason for this is we think, now stem cells, there's so much research out there that we can tell we think this is what the stem cells do. But like, for example, they have a homing mechanism that, like if a person has pain of the knee, that's going to produce inflammation. And these stem cells have a homing mechanism that actually target the damaged area and go in and do their job. The problem is when a person has they're diabetic, they have inflammation throughout their whole body. So the stem cells are kind of looking around going, well, we're here, we're ready to help, but we have inflammation throughout our body. So where do we start? So inflammation would be a problem. I think we're at number 4, would be a person that's morbidly obese. Like, for example, I weigh 200 pounds. So every single time I take a step, I'm transmitting 3 times my body weight from my foot, ankle, knee, hip into my back. Wow. All right. So if somebody is morbidly obese, meaning they're 75 to 100 pounds overweight. Okay. Now we went from 600 pounds being, my weight to now, let's just say 300 pounds. And every step they take, they're pounding the ground with 900 pounds. So that's going to slow down the healing process. And number 5 is if a person is just an avid, just a chronic pill popper. If you're chronically taking aspirin, ibuprofen, Tylenol, these non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, again, that's decreasing inflammation. And these stem cells have a homing mechanism, and they want to go into where the inflammation. See, it's like a signal. It says, hey, I'm injured. I need help. And then when we pop a pill to decrease inflammation, again, the stem cells, they don't really know where to go. Because one thing I would like to teach everyone too is, see, in our body, every tissue in your body actually has stem cells. And so your body is healing because your own body, your own tissues have stem cells in them. So when you injure yourself, that's part of the healing process. Is you have inflammation, you dilate your capillary bed so blood flow gets in, and then this cascade of healing properties comes in. And part of that is your own innate ability for your stem cells to heal your body. So that.
Wow.
That might be more than most people want it,
But what question on the smoking? So let's say somebody does smoke, but they want to get into stem cells. If they were to say quit smoking for about a year and then maybe do stem cells, do you think that would actually help with the?
Probably. I don't know of any studies that's actually said that. I mean, again, we're people that come into my clinic. We're all adults. I don't tell anyone to stop smoking, because they're not going to. So I have, almost 20 years, I've, beat my head against the wall trying to get people to stop, and people are going to be people. They're going to do what they want to do. And so I'm just like, okay, you're not going to stop doing that. So just understand that you're going to heal a little bit slower. And if you're okay with that, I'm okay with that. Okay. So
I just knew that somebody out there's thinking that.
yeah. Yeah. And one thing too, that with the healing process is that, steroids, if you're, taking steroids, we need to, it has to be a window of about 6 weeks from the time a person, let's just say somebody goes to the doctor and gets a steroid injection. And we have to wait approximately 6 weeks for those corticosteroids to dissipate and to leave the body. Again, the reason these steroids work is not because they're regenerating tissue, they're actually decreasing inflammation. And see, there's the key word again. We need inflammation for our body to heal. So we need to make sure that all the corticosteroids are out of our body, and then let that inflammation come in and let the body go in and let these stem cells actually go into that area and heal. So that's another thing, is 6 week window between steroids and actually doing the injection.
Okay. Good to know. How long does it take for stem cells to start working and actually seeing results?
And seeing results. Is that what you're?
Yes.
Okay. Well, again, typically between the 4 to 6 weeks is for most people. And so that, I mean, if somebody just went online and Googled and said, hey, how long does it take for these for regenerative medicine to start working? I think just the national average, most people are going to tell you about 4 to 6 weeks. And like I said, I just wanted to let people know, if you're doing these 5 things that are going to slow down the process, it's going to take longer.
I see.
Okay. Well, the big question I hear all the time is, where do stem cells come from? There's so many.
Well, that's another good question. Where do they come from? Okay. So in a big picture, we actually have kind of 2 groups. And we'll talk about what is called the autologous stem cell group first. And autologous just is a fancy word that just means it comes from our own tissue. So we have bone marrow that can be drawn from the iliac crest. For people who don't know where the iliac crest is, if you just put your hand on your hip, that bone right there is your iliac crest, and you can do there you go, Tori, that's it. That's it. And so you can draw the stem cells out of the iliac crest, and then you can put those in your body. One of the drawbacks with that is, and see, I didn't choose to do that type. When I was 54, over a year ago, I got an injection in my elbow and my shoulder. And we're going to talk about the type of injections that I did in just a minute. But when we do this autologous stem cell, if you're 65, your stem cells are 65. And if you're 75, your stem cells are 75. You're 85. So, and so that would be one part of that, is that as we age, we have fewer stem cells. They're not as vibrant. So they don't allow our body to heal as fast, but they're still stem cells, and there are viable types of therapy for younger people. So the bone marrows are really good, in my opinion, for the younger group. Another type of autologous stem cells is called adipose. And another word for adipose is fat. So most people say, wow, I didn't know fat had stem cells on them. Remember, every tissue in your body has stem cells. So, so if you take your own adipose tissue, then again, even though it has stem cells, if you're 65, those stem cells are 65. If you're 75, those stem cells are 75. So that would be autologous, meaning it comes from your own body. We're going to take that from our body and we're going to put that back in our body. Now, the type that we use is called allograft tissue, and the proper name for what we use, and I know everybody uses the term stem cell, but what we actually use is an allograft tissue injection. So you can think how much easier it is just to say stem cells versus allograft tissue injection. So what this means in English is allograft means that we're taking tissue from a donor, and then we're going to take that tissue from the donor and we're going to inject that into a recipient. So the stem cells that we get, this allograft tissue, comes from an umbilical cord. Now, this is very powerful. The reason for the power of this is you're getting day one stem cells. You're getting day one Wharton's jelly, and that's what's inside this umbilical cord, and that's where all the magic happens, because you have the Wharton's jelly. Inside the Wharton's jelly, you have, here's another word nobody's really heard of, mesenchymal cells. And inside the mesenchymal cells, that's where all the healing properties are. So where we get the stem cells is from an umbilical cord, from a healthy mom who has given birth to a healthy baby. Both are screened for health, and then they send this umbilical cord to the American Association of Tissue Banks, and then we get our allograft tissue from these tissue banks. So that's where we get them. That's where we get ours.
Okay. So it makes so basically what you're saying, just in layman's terms, because I'm not a doctor, what I hear you're saying is when you say day one, it's stem cells, you know, if we were to do it the other way, you're getting, say, if you're 65 out of your own body, it's 65-year-old stem cells. If it's 1-year-old, it's from a baby. So you're basically having a faster regeneration process because it's baby, correct?
Well, the way I explain it when I give my seminars is like this. And I have people out say, just raise your hand if you've been to church or you've been to a family get together or, 4th of July, Labor Day, Memorial Day, Thanksgiving, Christmas, whatever day. And you see the 2 and 3-year-olds running around in the yard and you go, oh my God, I wish I had that kind of energy. Well, guess what? When you use this allograft tissue that comes from the umbilical cord, you're actually using day one tissue, brand new tissue. So the way I explain it to our people in the audience is that we're actually getting the energy, the rejuvenation, the power, the ability to heal ourselves from a 1-day-old cell versus a 65-year-old cell or a 75-year-old cell or wherever how old you are, And then again, like for me, the reason I chose to do allograft tissue injection versus using my own stem cells when I was 54 and did my injection, I've got fewer stem cells today than when I was born. At 50, when a person's 50 years old, it typically takes about 50 hours for my stem cells, once I'm injured, for those to replicate and actually start to heal. When we use this day one allograft tissue that has all of these mesenchymal cells, and they have stem cells and growth factors and cytokines and all this blah, blah stuff people don't want to hear and talk about. They just want to hear stem cells. But when we use this day one allograft tissue, it's going to replicate about 28 hours. So you get that replication rate much, much faster. And just think of it like this. If you have a 10-year-old that sprains their ankle and you have a 50-year-old that sprains their ankle, who's going to heal faster? Well, most likely the 10-year-old. The reason is they have younger stem cells, they have more vibrant stem cells, they have the ability to heal themselves faster, they have more energy in their body, and as we age, we start to lose that ability to heal ourselves. And that's the miracle, if people want to call it the miracle of regenerative medicine, is we're able to take these day one cells and actually put those day one cells in a bad knee or a bad shoulder or a bad hip. And then we just sit back and go, okay, just let this allograft tissue, just let it do its job. Let's just let it go in and help the body heal and stimulate your own native stem cells and growth factors and decrease pain and increase mobility. And just people come into the clinic and they go, oh my gosh, doc, I can't believe how wonderful I feel. And that's hopefully we didn't go into too much technical information, but that's I try to bridge the gap between lay people and doctor talk. So sometimes
but that's perfect. Because it's perfect because we're going to have different types of people.
Okay.
So it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And let's see, where do stem cells come from and where are they harvested? We covered that. And Mark.
Well, the next thing, I think the next biggest question is, does insurance cover this? Or do insurance cover it?
Insurance does not cover stem cell therapy. The reason is insurance basically covers drugs and surgery. With regenerative medicine, it doesn't cover it. And this is what I tell people all the time. If you go back and you look at how long you've had this problem, okay, and you look at how much money you've actually spent on deductibles and co-payments over the last 10 years, you've probably spent more, even though you have insurance, you probably spent more out of pocket than what you're going to pay in our clinic to actually get this allograft tissue that has the potential to change your life.
What an investment.
Well, you're saving.
It's a huge investment.
That way, you're saving a lot of money.
Yeah, and the investment is, it's you're investing in yourself, and it's like I tell people all the time is, stop being a burden to your family, because when you're in pain, and I mean, I couldn't tell you, Mark, couldn't tell you, Tori, how many people come into my clinic. I actually had a lady come in today, and I said, look, just tell me when you stand up, how long can you stand up before you have to sit down? And here's what she told me. This is a patient that I started up this morning. She said, when I get out of bed, I can stand up, and if I'm lucky, I make it into the living room before I have to sit down again. All right. So, and we're talking about a person that can't do, their household chores. If you can't walk from your bedroom to your living room, you're probably not enjoying life. You're probably fearful about, am I going to end up in a wheelchair? What kind of legacy am I going to leave to my grandkids? And everybody else is going out, having a good time on vacation. And, I have to stay in the room because I'm afraid that if I go outside, I might trip and fall or hurt myself and my knees. I'd be lucky if I get, down the elevator. So again, this is an investment in your life. And that's exactly the way that I explain to patients is, I have people that can't throw the baseball or football with their kids or their grandkids. They can't go golfing. They can't ride their motorcycles. They can't go to their grandkids' sports events. So, this is what I say. This is has the potential to be a total game changer for your life, because I want people to enjoy every day that they have. And and I get to do that.
And that's beautiful. So why does insurance not cover this, doctor?
Well, again, I think that the reason insurance doesn't cover it is because the regenerative medicine is not a drug and it's not a surgery. And so they want that, they're going to cover things that are what are called FDA approved, and drugs are FDA approved to treat a symptom. Like, for example, if you had high cholesterol, let's just use that as an example, then all these companies have to go through all these tests, and then yes, now we can prove that this actually drops your cholesterol level. The FDA approves it, and then it may or may not get approved by insurance. I don't know exactly the whole ins and outs of that. Stem cell therapy is not. When we do this, let me back up and say this. When we do this allograft tissue injection, we're not actually trying to treat anything. What we're trying to do is we're trying to get your body stimulated so that the body can actually heal itself. So we're not going after trying to treat a disease or to treat symptoms, because these injectables have the ability to actually, that's what it does. It just stimulates your body to have the potential for your body to heal itself. And that's probably why it's never probably never going to be cleared by insurance because it's not a drug. It's not designed to treat a symptom. It's designed to give the body the opportunity to heal itself. And that's unfortunately, that's, our society is based on drugs and surgery, and that's what insurance covers. So,
right. So basically what you're saying, this is not a Band-Aid.
it's not a Band-Aid. It's not a Band-Aid at all. And this has the potential to be years in the making of healing the body. So it's not like somebody comes in and they just have to keep coming in year after year after year. I mean, this is just another component of getting your life back, especially for senior citizens. When I give my seminars, I tell them, I said, I'm 55 now. When most of you in this audience are 55, you look to retire into your golden years. And the problem is your golden years have turned into your rusty years because you've got all this degeneration and you can't walk across the room, you can't walk upstairs, and what I want to do is I want them to give them their life back. I want them when they at 65 or 75, whatever they thought retirement was supposed to be, I want to give that back to them. And so, this pain and suffering, it just robs people life of their dignity, of their legacy they're going to leave with their grandkids, the fun that they're going to have with their spouse, and the enjoyment. And it's all about, to me, it's all about memories. It's all about leaving memories and creating memories for your family. And, so it's this program we have is extremely affordable. We have payment options for people who, for whatever reason can't just pay for a check, cash, or credit card. But, this program is an extremely affordable program because this is an investment in your life, in you. And for me, I can't think of anybody more I'd want to invest in than myself or my wife or my family. And, I don't want to be, I'll give you an example. I had one patient that came to my seminars, and husband and wife, and he wanted his wife to do the first round of injections. And within 4 to 6 weeks, she is doing incredible. And then her husband said, well, I've got to do it because I got a bad back and 2 busted up knees. I can't even, they had a motorcycle they couldn't ride. So now, see, they're enjoying life because, again, they were talking about pain and things they couldn't do. And now, they're in their 80s and they're doing whatever they want to do. And people just aren't used to hearing people that's in their 70s and 80s most of the time, getting better. And I'll give you a story. I had a patient that came in the clinic. He's 94 now, and he got an injection about a year ago. And it was funny because he was came in the clinic. It was hilarious. And but he came in. He's like, Doc. Now remember, this is a 93-year-old patient at the time. And he goes, Doc. He's like, man, I feel like I'm 90 years old again. So, and if you had to be in, you had to be there. But when you got a 93-year-old saying, hey, I feel like I'm 90 again, it's like it was just to hear him say that was hilarious. So,
wow, you're like, you should have said 70. I'm blamed.
Yeah.
Wow. I know I'm actually shocked that we actually even got to actually have this time with you, because I know every time I try to call you, get a hold of you, you're slammed. You're just,
yeah.
It's like I'm also just like a 7-Eleven, just 24/7. I'm not joking.
We have a very busy clinic, and oh, by the way, we currently, just so that people know, we have patients that come from 7 different states to our clinic. And I actually had a patient today that called from Georgia, which is, wow. This person actually comes in. This will be, I believe this will be our 8th state that people travel to come to my clinic. And the reason they come to our clinic is a lot of these people have been referred. They've seen me on, some of these people will even see me probably on Facebook. They come to my seminars and they refer other people, and they like, look, you don't have to live like this anymore if you don't want to. And so that's the reason we have people traveling from such a long distance to come to Tupelo, Mississippi, because of the results that they see us getting and the referrals that other people that have been in our clinic, and they go, you've got to come to this clinic at Regenerative Medicine in Mississippi. and see if these doctors can help you. One thing I'd like to say too, as me being a chiropractor, I don't do the injections. I give the seminars. I'm the clinic director of regenerative medicine in Mississippi, and we do have a medical staff, and those the medical staff are the ones that actually do the injections. So I wanted to be clear. I should have said this at the beginning of the webinar. I do apologize about that, but I give the talks. I'm the clinic director, but we do have a medical staff that does the injection. Incredible staff that we have at Regenerative Medicine of Mississippi.
Nice. I have one more question.
Okay.
What would you say to the people that are maybe on the edge? They're not there. They're like not sure.
I would
Fake news. They're hearing this.
Yep. Here's what I would say, Mark. I would just tell them, if you live within driving distance, just come to my clinic. Just come in and talk to my patients. Sit out in a parking lot if you have to. I don't care. I'm here to help people. It's summertime, so make sure you keep your air conditioner on because it is hot out there right now. So, but I don't have a problem with that. I'm here to help human beings. I'm here to help people and give people hope that have no hope. And if and just come into our clinic. I'd recommend that you call the clinic and say, instead of just popping in because we're a busy clinic, but if you just call in and say, hey, I'd like to talk to a couple of patients if they didn't mind talking to me. When people come to my workshops, I mean, I have, I believe off the top of my head, 11 testimonials that patients have given me permission to use at my regenerative medicine seminars or workshops, I guess you could call them. So again, it's I'm here to help. I'm here to help improve the quality of people's lives. I'm here to help people improve the quality of their life. And I mean, there's only so many people. If you come into my clinic, I mean, I've had people come in before, and they had literally asked patients, it's like, what are you doing in here? You look like a happy person. You're happy. It's like, why are you in here? And it's like, that's the reason they're in here, because they were as broke down as you were when they came into our clinic. And now you come into our clinic and you see people that are happy, people that are smiling, people that are walking, that are moving, that I'll give you another example. I've got one gentleman that just gave me a testimonial. 5 years ago, his wife was pushing him into a VA hospital. He's a veteran, Vietnam vet, had Agent Orange dropped on him. Neck problems, shoulder problems, back. Now he's in a wheelchair 5 years ago. And she gives me a testimonial. I'm just paraphrasing what she told me. She said, I literally pushed him into the hospital, and this was the doctor's advice. You need to send him to an assisted living. That's where you need to put him. There's nothing we can do for him. Okay. And her being this, just this dogged, by God, there's got to be somebody that can do something. And she saw us and came into our clinic, and I swear to you, if I had my hand on the Bible, if you saw this gentleman walk into if you were in our clinic and you saw this guy, you'd swear he was never in a wheelchair. And so this is the power of regenerative medicine. This is why, we give these talks in Alabama and Mississippi, because we just want to teach people. And again, if people go, this is what I want to go, this is the direction I want to go down, then we're here. And for whatever reason, if a person, it does happen. I mean, last month, we unfortunately had 8 people that came into our clinic, and they were either because of cancer, an infection, or certain different things that we just were not able to accept them as a patient. So, we don't accept everyone that comes into the clinic. It's my job or our job in the clinic to go, is this person a viable candidate for this program? And if it is, then we're going to tell them, and they can make a decision if this is what they want to do. But if we see that, no, you're just not a candidate, we just don't feel like this is the right place for you, we'll tell them. I don't like doing that. We don't like doing that. I don't like telling people that you're so far gone, there's nothing that can be done. I'm an optimist, but unfortunately, as a doctor, sometimes you have to tell people what they don't want to hear. And we have to, as our medical team, we have to get together and go, is this a potential candidate or not? So So I just want people to know that they're trying to figure out, they want to do this program, and I'm trying to figure out, are you a candidate for the program? Are you a person who we feel like that can be helped? So, that's, if you guys have another question, I'd be more than happy to answer that. I don't even know why we got on that subject about
Not for today, Doctor, but we would love to have you on again and again.
Sure.
And so it's been such a pleasure.
Absolutely.
And we look forward to speaking with you again, and stay tuned. There will be testimonials after this video.
Yes, there will. Yes, everyone, there will be testimonials of actual people that Dr. Barlow has helped. So stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Absolutely.
Exactly. All right. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Barlow, and we will see you probably really soon.
Absolutely. Mark, Tori, as always, it's just great hanging out with you guys, and y'all have a great day. Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you, Dr. Barlow.
All right.
Absolutely.